Hi, my name is Hannah Persson, and today I'm going to be talking about the rabies virus. Alright, so for this first question on this communication challenge, the question was basically, what should you use, soap, alcohol, or bleach to protect yourself from the rabies virus? And so I thought I'd go ahead and differentiate between the three on how they handle viruses. And so first, we're going to go ahead and talk about soap. I've got a diagram off to the right here on how soaps typically deal with viruses. What they do is soaps contain sodium stearate, which work to degrade biological membranes. So you can see in the diagram how sodium stearate is kind of working to break apart these viruses. As to whether or not I would use soap to limit the spread of rabies, I would say yes, that you should use it to limit the spread. Considering that soap is useful against non-membrane bound and membrane bound viruses, and it does wash them away from flat surfaces. So the rabies virus is typically transmitted between an animal biting a human, right? So the rabies virus is typically contained in saliva. So say that there was some saliva on a flat surface or on your hands that contain the rabies virus, using soap to wash that away would be a good way to prevent contracting it. Next up, we have alcohols, typically the ones contained in hand sanitizers. Particularly ethanol functions really similarly to soap in how it breaks down biological membranes, but it's just a little bit different in the fact that it only breaks down non-membrane bound viruses. So rabies is a membrane-bound virus, so it would be effective to use against rabies. Once again, it'd be good for wiping down your hands or a flat surface, if there was a bit of saliva that contained the rabies virus in it. Lastly, we've got bleach. And so bleach functions just a little bit differently than soaps and sanitizers. And what it does basically is it does degrade the outer shell of a virus, but it does so by attacking protein receptors. So would it be effective in limiting the spread of rabies? I would say yes, as long as it doesn't really come into contact with skin or anything like that. As long as it's just used for purely cleaning purposes. So wiping down flat surfaces with the virus on it. Sort of going a little bit deeper into that, the next question for the communication challenge was, why shouldn't we just wash our hands with bleach to, limit the spread of viruses, since it's a little bit more effective in degrading viruses that way? And the answer to that question is that bleach is actually pretty harmful to human health. Prolonged exposure can cause dizziness, vomiting, nausea, and pretty much just a trip to the hospital. And then prolonged exposure to the skin does cause skin burns, as seen in this picture on the right. So with that in mind, that's sort of all I had for this. Thank you for listening.